Hello and welcome back. 9:05 Monday morning. Gonna make this one quick. Quite a few things to go over. So sales and sourcing video. Sales sourced. All right, so went down to my mom's down on the Mogador, Outlet, Springfield, the Goodyear blimp hanger area. She's not too far from there. Went down there, hit the three stores that were down that way yesterday. Didn't get much from the three. Um, However, it was worth the stops. That's one of the things that I like. That's what you should do if you're out and about and you're at a store and you're like, well, I'm here. Hopefully, there's something that you could get while you're there, so you could make your stop worthwhile. For the most part, that will always happen when I'm out and about. Every once in a while, when I'm going to multiple stores, there may be one store, might be even two, that I don't get anything. And that's because there's 4 or 5 or 6 other stores I'm going to visit that day, that run, that route. So it all just kind of, but it's always good to start it off with a handful. Let's find out what's sold, and then I'll go over to what I got. All right, Mississippi Mass Choir. So at one time, I probably had maybe 10 DVDs and a handful of CDs, and now they're kind of starting to trickle down a bit. 17? 17. My Chauffeur DVD, 15. Oh. This compass that I've had, I bought, and I will buy like little oddball, smaller things like this. This is, I think, $1. I don't remember, maybe been two. It sold for 26, 25, and it just kind of sat on a little area where I have non-media. Then sometimes I'll just get to the non-media stuff and just post it, and so that one, sold. These two putt-putt computer games going international. So the sold price is 36, and then whatever the international bets and everything is for it. So $36 for these two. So I had got one at one time and had it listed for a while. Nothing. Well, actually, somebody did order it and just never paid, and then I relisted it, and then eventually found another one. I'm like, oh, they're slightly different. Enters the race and joins the circus. So let's put them together. Since one just doesn't sell well by itself, put the two together. Back streets back. I'm not going to go any higher than that. All right. Brian Luttrell, sealed, 15. Inspector Gadget. Now this is disc 3 of what would otherwise be at least 3 disc set. But this is only disc 3. It is X library, so some libraries will just take out and have for the rental for each individual disc. I don't know exactly how that came about, but the entire Inspector Gadget set itself is like 60, 70 bucks. This one was 1853. Robert Plant, Shaken and Stirred, 22. So this is one I bought, listened to in the car for a little while. I think there's only one. I think the Shaken and Stirred is the more common. Hip to Who, Glua. I don't think it should. There is one song on here. I think it's probably the first one or the second one that I recognize. All the rest of them, this was more like obviously solo, but it was more like a stringy kind of guitar, little hanging out solo jam session type feel to it. Not a big fan of this one as opposed to the rest of like Led Zeppelin-esque stuff. So, yeah, 22. Entering the Fat Dragon, $12. Inuyasha DVD box set, 23. So this is a book that I typically wouldn't buy just due to its size. It is one of those really, really lightweight paperbacks. It's still probably going to be in the 3-pound range. It's going international. It's sold for 35. So chances are I scanned it, and it may have been one of those days to where, or maybe Theory of Games and Economic Behavior was just enough words for me to be like, oh, well, let's see if. And sure enough, it came up. But books this size, yeah, I'll buy if they're closer to 40 and it's close enough to 40. But I try to stay away from these because they're bulky, and most of the time when I'm looking up books, they're usually not ones like this size. More likely, it is because of the title that got me, or what I was finding in stores wasn't really a whole lot, so I just grabbed what I could. Two of Hearts, somebody come on. Stacy Q, 45. 15. PS2 Roadkill. So that's one I actually got at the Village Discount at Cuyahoga Falls quite a while ago. There's a sourcing video about that, and it was, I want to say, July 4th weekend, or July 4th when we went there. That's where I got a bunch of PS2 games. And a matter of fact, the Village Discount down on Waterloo Road where we were at yesterday. So 2 different stores, 2 different locations. One in Cuyahoga Falls, one in South Akron. They had a whole bunch of PS2 games, but almost all but maybe 3 were all just sports games. I know that there's a football one, a college football one that's decent, so I'll look for the college football. And I think there's a baseball one, but I don't bother with that too much. I really don't bother too much with the sports games. But this was 28. Windy Woo DVD, 22. So this, so I can get them all kind of faced the correct way. It really doesn't matter. This lot of 12 books here by Austin Sparks. I got these at the Discovery store where they're 50 cents a book, and I probably picked them up for either half off or I paid like $5-6 total for all of them. And it was 45 bucks. I mean, I've had them for a little while, but 45 bucks. Ice Cube Lethal Injection CD, 12. This is a Bible just listed past couple days ago. 60. Now these Bibles, by as the year and the specific of what's on here, are probably only $40 at max. Why I got 60? Because of the condition, the edging. I don't think I think the dedication page has stuff on it, but everything else, and a little note, and a lot of times the little notes and stuff like that I will keep in there, or the the loose pieces of paper, things like that, that'll stay. But I will do a skim through and see if there's a $100 bill or something in there. Never found any of those yet, but you don't find them if you don't try to look for them. $60. Richard Hell and the Voidoids CD 13. Working 9 to 5. Old Dolly and Lily Tomlin, and forget the other girl's name. Jane Fonda. 12. And Sealed Maze CD, another one I just listed, $20. All right, so we're not even 12 minutes in, so I can go through what I got here and see if I can keep this under 20 minutes. So at the Goodwills, so there's 2 that I stopped at. They're $2 a DVD or $2 a CD, and the Village is, I think they're $1.50. So it wasn't really a whole lot, but I'll just do the math at $2 average, what I spent here. Because I did pick up a few other things, including a brain bucket. Fits nice and snug. More of a road bike helmet. A mountain biking helmet is shaped a little different. However, I did check on here. It just has like a few little paint scuffs on it. None of the shell is cracked or hard scuffed, and none of the foam down here has any white stress points on it or any of it's cracked. So for the, I think it was either orange was half off, so it was $2.50. So at least it's something I still wouldn't ride. Even I won't go out and ride without a helmet, and I prefer to ride with one that's unknown because it's used, is better than riding without one. And when riding season starts for next year, when I'll invest in a little better gear, like good gloves, and let's see how these shoes turn out, better helmet, riding shorts, and a few other things, right? But at least it's something. All right. So I did go through here, kind of reorganize so I can present them in a more value order as opposed to trying to remember. All right. So these 4 are going to be over 15, but under 20. This is Diary of a Mad Black Woman soundtrack, 15 to 20. Finding Nemo music, 15 to 20. No. Back to Keith Green. This one's closer to 20. A 2-disc. Tony Trishka and Bella Fleck. Solo banjo. Ding, 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 ding. It's not banjo. I was thinking of the dueling banjos. Those under 20. These next ones are going to be 20 to 30. John Danielle, Danyel, John Danielle. Complete Songs of Loot, as a meaning the like a miniature type violin thing. I believe that's what a lute is. Or no, a lute is a kind of like the thing from Zelda. So it's gonna be over 20. This Elvis exhibition at the Rock Hall. It's a BMG print. They're listed at like $25, right around. It sold nothing. I don't think I went into Terra Peak, but it's going to be a limited print because it was just for the Rock Hall, which is 25 minutes down the road from here. The Rock Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the Football Hall of Fame is down farther, and then you have the Inventors Hall of Fame in Akron, and then there's a science something, Great Lakes Science Center, which is a big. Well, I've never been in any other science centers, but it's a big science center. A lot of stuff in there, but assumingly 25. The James Taylor Quartet. So I don't know if it's the artist James Taylor. And then he went into quartet style, but this one is 20 to 30. Hawthorne Heights, CD and DVD. They're both in there. Like the case corner up here, where the hinge arm, that's cracked and broken, but discs are good. Has a slip cover. And looking this up, most of them have a white slip cover. So I don't know if it's import. It's not looking like it. No, Chicago. So 20 to 30. Lorna McDermott. Now you see a bunch of these all over the place. Lorna McDermott. They're all over. It's like Josh Corbin and stuff that's all over. Sealed stuff, I will still, regardless if I know that it's going to be a $5 scan, I will still just scan it because for some reason, some time or another, it could just be, now it's worth something. So they're sealed. I will still always look them up, especially sealed with the factory tape up here with the barcode and stuff. So 20 to 30. Jonathan and Tony. Antoine, whichever, sealed. 20 to 30. These are going to be 30 to 40. All right, so this is Passion of the Christ, the first press. My understanding is by scanning it and looking at the titles, it's the first pressing or the first issue of it. So the strange thing is that you read this, and you see Passion of the Christ, Definitive Edition, Disc 1. So I'm like, well, there's supposed to be more than one disc? So I look at other listings that have, like, the seller actually took a photo, and the ones that I saw, they all have that disc 1. Well, I guess it's correct, and if it is, it's over $30. And this is Treat Her Right, the anthology, 1985 to 1990. Sealed, 30 to 40 bucks. Cub Coda, Celeste Idea. This match up this guitar one right here, 30 to 40. Hank Williams Jr. I think this one's closer to the 30 range. And Hugo, no idea. A lot of times when I just see the PA, I'll just grab the PA and go from there. Closer to 30, or right over that 30 mark. I want to say this one is. But these last ones were all 30 to 40. This book, like 30 bucks. And I got this at Goodwill, so it was $1.50. Solid Works. It's I want to say it's a program DVD because it does have a serial number, and it does read in here. Well, it has a coupon code valid until 2010. Install, so it is an install Windows XP 64 Vista, and then the other one's probably the 32-bit. Yeah, 32 64-bit for Windows XP and Vista. SolidWorks, I am not really certain on what SolidWorks is. But if you just type in SolidWorks DVD or SolidWorks, go into computer programs and stuff, it's around $50. So I have to do a little more, but I'm still going to say 50. It's Ted Nugent 2-disc. I had to go into Terapeak. I think there's only like 2 or 3 that are sold in Terapeak. Maybe a little more, but it's still close to, if not just over $50. There's only a couple listed, and obviously none, well, not really, obviously, but none really sold over 90 days. So this is one when I scan and nothing comes up, like, well, Ted Nugent is definitely a well enough known name that's going to merit me to hand type it, and the hand type it stuff comes up, or maybe more came up. Or when I scanned and stuff came up and I hit sold and none sold, I'm like, well, Ted Nugent's a big enough name, and you would figure there'd be some sales. So I will hand type it and then hit sold that way, and nothing comes up. Okay, so then I just go back into hit where I'm in the search bar, hit that, and then you'll be able to go through again and then long press and select all. You may have to move the little arrows across and get it to where you have everything you want, and then hit select all, or you can hit cut. As long as all of them are all highlighted, you can hit cut or select all or copy all, and then go into Terapeak or product search on the app and do it that way and start going from there. So I think only a couple came up, but it's still good to have for $2. And this Captain Blood, Conan the Barbarian, Basil, I don't know. So this is more of what this is. It's the songs from this Earl guy. Earl something. But the back shows Conan. So I'm kind of glad that I saw this in here. So this is the Captain Blood classic film scores by Earl Flynn, National Philharmonic Orchestra, Charles Gerhardt. So when I scanned, I just scanned this. I think something, either way. So if I paid $2, if it turns out something is worthwhile, or even just this back cover, I'll have to see. It's going to be kind of the experiment to see really if I got my $2 worth out of it. However, I think that with just the soundtrack or whatever it is worthwhile, because I never hand typed this. So at $2 a piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's not even $40, and for those, and even if they're $20 each for those, it's $400. It's obviously above that, so I'm not really gonna get too crazy in the pricing of all of them, but it's still probably $600 for the 40, if not 600 more. All right, so that takes us to 24 minutes. So it's still not too bad. Chop it down a little, see what I can do. So the wheels on the track, the sound is dissipating, Doppler effect. But the sound is also getting louder, as if there's another train coming this way, which doesn't happen often. That's going to wrap that one up. So if you like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned, find clean Bibles and scan stuff and make sure it is what you're looking at and not a different artwork on it. But still pretty cool artwork. If anything is going up, comment down below, subscribe, share. Everything helps me help you, so we can help other people learn about selling physical media on eBay. Appreciate it. Thank you.